Good morning, men of equanimity. I come to you from Marietta, California, a hair from Temecula. This weekend, my wife and I hosted our annual women's retreat at this beautiful estate in Marietta. We started out at a Temecula winery, and we had wine tasting and lunch, and we met up with 16 most beautiful souls. And with our spiritual advisors, Pastor Omar and Unitha Mohammed, we team up to give these women an experience that can change their spiritual posture. So I thought this weekend, the weekend before Mother's Day, would be the great time to have this conversation with you guys and deal with the human emotion that is represented in Mother's Day, which is unconditional love, right? So as you always hear me say, and I'm going to talk about Mother's Day and Father's Day in this one last video in regards to what the holidays mean for us as men and how we can disseminate emotional intelligence to our children through each holiday. But on Mother's Day, it's a celebration of unconditional love. Unique in that unconditional love is an emotion that God made perfect. And he shared that between mother and child. That bond between mother and child is the strongest bond emotionally ever known to man, because it's been made perfect in God. And we hope and pray that the father has an attached unconditional love for his children as well. But mother's pretty much got that on lock, right? So there's an expectation of unconditional love. Now, we as humans try to create unconditional love when we set the wedding vows is our definition of unconditional love. I swear from to death do we part, through richer, through poor, through health, but look how that works out, right? 50% of the people end up in divorce. 50% of the people who continue on don't have love for each other. So we try to replicate what God creates, but we really can't because we're not God. So on this Mother's Day, let's contemplate what unconditional love means to us. To love somebody, the ugly of them, the pretty of them, the imperfections, the flaws. There's no end to this love. There's no condition to this love. It's just going to be, and there's nothing you can do about it. That type of love that creates a security in us that helps us define ourselves and move forward in life. So hopefully that you have someone you can share unconditional love with, and even better if you can actually create that unconditional love with you and your spouse and between your family, and make sure that you circulate that unconditional love, which means the judgment has to be limited. We may not be able to understand what our children are going through, but we still have the obligation to accept them and love them unconditionally, regardless of what their path may bring them. All right, so that is the celebration of the human emotion of unconditional love during Mother's Day. Father's Day, I want this to spread until Father's Day. I might send it to you twice, because on Father's Day, the emotion that fathers really need in exchange with their children is reverence. Now, we may not know this as a young father, but when you get to be a father of an adult child, and if you start having grandkids, reverence is something that you are going to desire, even if you don't even understand that it is reverence. You want to be held in a high regard, and saying that all of my sacrifices and everything I did to pour into this child, he appreciates that. She knows that it was a sacrifice for me and I did it willingly. And for that, and in exchange for that, she's going to revere me and she's going to respect me on a higher level. And so I think that, when we sit in our feelings when it comes down to being fathers, and we might get a tie or a card or something like that, the human emotion that is really important for us as men is to be revered by the people that we sacrifice so much for. All right, so keep that in mind, have that conversation, dwell with it within your heart, and pray and meditate on it, and enjoy your family. And no matter what your family was in the past, you have the opportunity to rebuild and recreate the family of your dreams moving forward. And do not let your past and the lack thereof affect the beauty of your future. All right, men of equanimity, enjoy your families, enjoy your days. Peace and be blessed.